Ladies and gentlemen, if you're over 60, what you're about to hear may completely change the way you view one common food. In this video titled, "If You're Over 60, Never Eat This Cheese, It Harms Your Brain," we're going to uncover the shocking link between a specific type of cheese and accelerated brain aging. Backed by neurological studies and nutritional science, this isn't just about diet. It's about protecting your memory, mood, and mental clarity as you age. Stay with us, because what you learn could safeguard your brain for years to come. Have you ever stopped mid-bite and wondered if the food you're enjoying could quietly be affecting your brain? It's a scary thought, especially when something as comforting and familiar as cheese has always felt like a harmless pleasure. But for many people over 50, particularly seniors trying to protect their memory and stay sharp, the foods we trust the most can sometimes become the ones that slowly chip away at our health without us noticing. That's not meant to frighten you. It's a wake-up call, and one that many caring people like you are ready to listen to, especially when it comes to something as vital as your brain. You've worked hard to build a good life. Now you deserve to protect it, not just your body, but your mind, your clarity, your independence. And yet more and more, health experts are noticing subtle patterns that connect certain everyday foods to things like high blood pressure, memory loss, and even stroke. What's surprising is how often cheese is at the center of it all. Most people think of cheese as a healthy source of calcium and protein, and in the right forms it certainly can be. But the wrong types of cheese, especially when eaten often, may quietly increase your risk of vascular damage inside the brain, something that directly raises the chance of having a stroke or developing cognitive decline later in life. The real issue isn't just about fat or salt. It goes deeper into how cheese interacts with inflammation, blood vessels, and even the way your brain receives oxygen and nutrients. Some cheeses can increase certain chemical markers in the blood that quietly strain your arteries. Others can trigger low-grade inflammation that damages delicate tissues over time. The result is something you don't feel right away. But months or years down the line, you may notice more forgetfulness, mental fog, or worse, an unexpected health event that changes everything. That's why today's message matters so much. This isn't about scaring you. It's about giving you clarity, guidance, and real choices. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 common cheeses that can silently increase your risk of stroke, especially if you're over 60 or already managing health conditions like hypertension or diabetes. But we're also going to focus on hope, because there are 4 other cheeses that can actually support your brain health, nourish your body, and give you the satisfaction you deserve without the hidden risks. You have more power than you think, and even small changes in your diet can make a lasting difference in your memory, your thinking, and your overall vitality. So if you've ever wondered what's really safe to eat and what's quietly working against you, stay with me. This could be the moment you take one small step that protects your mind for years to come. Let's take this journey together with calm, compassion, and the deep belief that it's never too late to choose better and feel stronger. Let's begin with understanding which cheeses may be quietly placing more stress on your brain and your blood vessels than you realize. It's easy to overlook how something so familiar, something we've eaten for years, could be playing a role in the bigger picture of our long-term brain health. But the truth is, when certain cheeses are consumed often, especially without awareness of their contents, they can slowly contribute to the kind of internal damage that leads to memory issues, high blood pressure, and eventually stroke. These changes don't happen overnight, and that's what makes them so dangerous. They're slow, silent, and easy to miss until the damage is already done. The first kind of cheese that deserves your attention is the processed variety, the kind that comes individually wrapped, melts quickly, and is often added to sandwiches or burgers. These cheeses are designed for convenience, not health. They're packed with sodium, artificial emulsifiers, and preservatives that can raise your blood pressure and trigger low-grade inflammation. For seniors, especially those with already delicate circulation, these ingredients can strain the small vessels in the brain that carry oxygen and nutrients. When these vessels become stiff or blocked, the risk of stroke rises, not with a warning, but suddenly and dramatically. Another concern is the kind of cheese that many people grate generously over their meals, Parmesan. While flavorful and seemingly harmless, it holds one of the highest sodium levels among all cheeses. Just a few tablespoons can quietly push your daily salt intake far beyond healthy limits. For people over 60, the balance of sodium in the bloodstream becomes more delicate. Too much can cause blood vessels to narrow, pushing the heart to work harder and reducing the healthy blood flow that your brain depends on. Cheeses like blue cheese and aged cheddar may offer a bold taste, but they also come with bold risks. Blue cheese contains compounds that can tighten blood vessels and trigger spikes in blood pressure. For someone already managing conditions like diabetes or heart disease, this becomes especially problematic. Aged cheddar, while rich and comforting, brings a heavy load of saturated fats and salt. Over time, these can harden arteries, increase cholesterol, and reduce blood supply to the brain, setting the stage for memory loss, confusion, and more serious outcomes. This isn't about blaming these foods. It's about becoming aware of their effects, especially when consumed regularly. You don't need to remove all cheese from your life to stay healthy, but it's essential to recognize which kinds may be quietly causing harm. Awareness is the first act of self-care. By identifying the cheeses that elevate your risk and learning how to replace them with safer, nourishing alternatives, you're already moving in the right direction. You're protecting your brain. You're protecting your independence. And you're choosing a future filled with clarity, peace, and better health, one small step at a time. Now that you know which cheeses may quietly increase your risk, let's turn toward the good news, the cheeses that can actually support your brain, protect your blood vessels, and nourish your overall well-being. It's reassuring to know that not all cheese is harmful. In fact, some varieties contain nutrients that help reduce inflammation, stabilize blood pressure, and even support memory and cognitive function. The key is knowing what to look for, choosing mindfully, and enjoying these options as part of a balanced, intentional approach to eating that prioritizes your health and longevity. One of the most gentle and beneficial cheeses you can include is ricotta. It's soft, light, and made from whey, which gives it a lower fat and sodium content compared to firmer, aged cheeses. It's also rich in high-quality protein and contains essential nutrients like selenium and calcium, which play an important role in supporting brain cells and maintaining the structure of your blood vessels. Unlike processed or aged cheeses that stress your circulatory system, ricotta is easy on the body and gentle enough to be enjoyed even by those with sensitive digestion or heart concerns. Cottage cheese is another excellent option, especially when you choose the low sodium or no salt added varieties. It's high in casein, a slow digesting protein that helps preserve muscle mass, a critical factor in healthy aging. But it's also rich in vitamin B12, which is essential for brain and nerve health. Low levels of B12 are strongly linked to confusion, mood changes, and cognitive decline in seniors. By making cottage cheese part of your weekly routine, you're giving your brain the tools it needs to function with clarity and calm. If you're looking for something with a more distinct flavor that still supports brain health, goat cheese may be the answer. It contains beneficial fats that are easier to digest than those in cow's milk cheese, along with probiotics that help balance your gut. And what many people don't realize is that gut health and brain health are deeply connected. A healthy gut supports better mood regulation, sharper thinking, and even reduced inflammation throughout the body, including in the brain. Choosing goat cheese means you're not just nourishing your taste buds, you're actively working to support your mental clarity and emotional balance. Lastly, feta, especially when made from sheep's milk, provides a beautiful combination of taste and nutrition. It's slightly salty but contains conjugated linoleic acid, a natural fatty acid that supports better blood flow and reduces inflammation. In small portions, feta can be a delicious and health-conscious addition to your meals. What matters most is moderation and mindfulness. These cheeses aren't magic pills, but when used with intention, they can play a quiet, supportive role in your journey to better brain health. You don't need to give up the foods you love. You simply need to listen more closely to what your body truly needs. By replacing harmful choices with helpful ones, you're showing yourself real care. That kind of decision doesn't just protect your brain, it strengthens your entire future. Making healthier cheese choices isn't about restriction. It's about awareness and balance. By understanding what supports your brain and what may harm it, you begin to build a routine that honors both your health and your enjoyment. It's not just the type of cheese that matters. It's also how much you eat, what you pair it with, and when you choose to enjoy it. These small daily decisions are the foundation of long-term brain protection, especially as we age and become more vulnerable to silent changes in blood flow, memory, and vascular function. Start by becoming more mindful at the grocery store. Take a moment to check the nutrition labels. Pay close attention to sodium levels. Many cheeses that appear healthy are surprisingly high in salt. Look for options that contain less than 150 milligrams of sodium per serving. This small act of reading the label can prevent excess pressure on your arteries and help reduce your risk of stroke. If the ingredient list is long, artificial, or unfamiliar, it's usually best to leave it behind. Real, simple ingredients support the body more gently, especially when it comes to sensitive systems like the brain. Portion size plays a quiet but powerful role in protecting your health. Most people unknowingly consume more cheese than they realize. A healthy serving is roughly 1 ounce, about the size of your thumb. When you enjoy cheese in smaller amounts, you allow your body to benefit from its nutrients without overloading it with saturated fats or excess salt. It's not about cutting it out completely. It's about learning to enjoy it intentionally and sparingly, so your body feels supported rather than burdened. What you pair cheese with also makes a difference. Instead of eating it with refined bread or salty crackers, try combining it with brain-healthy foods like leafy greens, fresh berries, walnuts, or whole grains. These pairings not only enhance the flavor, but also work together to slow digestion, reduce inflammation, and keep your blood sugar more stable. A small serving of goat cheese with arugula and olive oil, or ricotta with blueberries and chia seeds, can turn a simple snack into a nourishing act of self-care. Even the timing of your meals matters more than you might think. Eating high-fat or salty foods late in the evening can disrupt your sleep and elevate nighttime blood pressure, both of which are crucial to brain repair and detoxification. Try to enjoy cheese earlier in the day, perhaps at lunch or an early dinner, when your body is better equipped to digest and metabolize it. This simple shift can help protect your cognitive clarity while also supporting restful sleep. When you eat with intention, you create a partnership with your health. Every thoughtful choice, every mindful meal becomes a quiet vote for the life you want to live. Clear, calm, and full of vitality. Let these small adjustments be your foundation. You're not giving something up. You're gaining better focus, stronger memory, and a deeper sense of well-being. As you continue to make more intentional choices about the foods you eat, it helps to understand the deeper impact these decisions can have on your long-term brain health. The way certain cheeses interact with your body isn't just about short-term effects like bloating or discomfort. It's about what happens inside your arteries, your brain's blood flow, and your memory over time. Every bite sends a message to your body. And when you choose foods that are high in saturated fats or sodium, that message can slowly wear down the systems meant to keep you sharp, balanced, and protected from stroke or cognitive decline. When cheese is eaten frequently and in large amounts, especially the highly processed or aged varieties, it creates a perfect storm within your vascular system. Over time, these foods can raise your blood pressure, harden your arteries, and reduce circulation to the parts of your brain responsible for thinking, focus, and memory. It's not always noticeable at first. You might feel a little more tired, a bit more forgetful, or slower to recall names and ideas, but these are the early signs that your brain's environment may be shifting in the wrong direction. Thankfully, your body is incredibly responsive to positive change, no matter your age. Even modest improvements in your diet can help repair the lining of your blood vessels, reduce brain inflammation, and improve the flow of oxygen and nutrients to your brain cells. When you make small changes consistently, like swapping out high-sodium cheddar for low-sodium cottage cheese or processed slices for a few spoonfuls of ricotta, you begin to ease the burden on your vascular system. This reduces your risk of stroke and supports clearer, more focused thinking. There's growing evidence that seniors who make even slight adjustments to their diet can experience measurable benefits in brain function. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware and proactive. Cutting down on harmful cheeses just 2 or 3 times a week and replacing them with better choices can lower stroke risk by a significant percentage. That's a powerful return for such a manageable change. And when you combine these decisions with other positive habits like hydration, gentle movement, and restful sleep, the impact becomes even greater. Your brain thrives on consistency, nourishment, and care. And while no single food can guarantee protection from disease, your everyday habits form the foundation of your future. The foods you reach for, the ingredients you trust, and the awareness you bring to your meals all shape how your brain performs and how you feel. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. You have more control than you've been told. And with every thoughtful choice, you're sending your brain the signal that it's safe, supported, and valued. The journey to better brain health doesn't require big leaps, just quiet, steady steps rooted in care and intention. Trust that these changes matter, because they do. Your clarity, your focus, your well-being, they're all worth protecting, one mindful decision at a time. Now that you've built a deeper understanding of how your cheese choices affect your brain, the next step is knowing how to put this knowledge into action in your everyday life. Awareness alone is powerful, but it becomes even more meaningful when it's paired with simple, consistent steps that create lasting change. Your health doesn't need a complete overhaul overnight. It simply needs your attention, your patience, and your willingness to make gentle shifts that honor the needs of your aging brain and body. That starts with small acts, decisions made in the kitchen, at the grocery store, and at the dinner table. One of the most empowering things you can do is take inventory of what's already in your home. This doesn't need to feel overwhelming. Just take a few quiet moments to look at the cheeses in your refrigerator, read the labels, notice the sodium content, the fat percentage, and the list of ingredients. If you find processed slices, highly aged varieties, or unfamiliar additives, that's a sign it may be time to make a healthier choice, swapping those for brain-friendly options. Like low-sodium cottage cheese, fresh ricotta, or plain goat cheese is a gentle but effective first step. Next, be mindful of how often cheese appears in your weekly meals. Many people eat cheese every single day without realizing how often it sneaks into sandwiches, snacks, and dinners. By limiting your intake to 2 or 3 times per week, you ease the burden on your cardiovascular system while still enjoying the flavors you love. When you do include cheese, pair it with fiber-rich foods, fruits, vegetables, or whole grains. These combinations help slow digestion, reduce inflammation, and support better nutrient absorption. A thoughtful pairing not only improves physical health, but adds variety and depth to your meals. Another small but meaningful shift is to drink more water throughout the day, especially when you eat foods that contain salt, like cheese. Staying hydrated helps flush excess sodium from your system, supporting more stable blood pressure and better circulation. When your brain receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs without unnecessary strain, your memory, clarity, and focus all benefit. Finally, consider keeping a brief food journal. It doesn't have to be detailed or time-consuming. Simply jotting down what you eat and how you feel afterward can bring awareness to patterns in your energy, mood, and mental sharpness. Over time, you may notice that brain-friendly cheese choices leave you feeling lighter, clearer, and more in control of your health. That kind of awareness leads to greater confidence in your decisions, and that confidence becomes the foundation for long-term wellness. This journey is about gentle progress, not perfection. Every time you choose to care for your brain through food, you're reinforcing a life built on strength, clarity, and peace. You're not just eating differently, you're living more intentionally. That sense of care, that steady devotion to your health will serve you well for years to come. As you continue to apply these gentle shifts in your eating habits, it's helpful to remember that long-term health isn't built on a single decision. It's created through the quiet, repeated actions that show your body and brain the care they deserve. And the beautiful part is, these actions don't need to feel restrictive or burdensome. They can feel empowering, reassuring, and even enjoyable when you approach them with intention and self-respect. You're not being asked to give something up. You're being invited to step into a way of living that helps you feel more clear-headed, emotionally balanced, and physically supported. Start each week with a sense of purpose. When planning your meals or shopping for groceries, think of your brain as an organ you're actively feeding with love and attention. Choose ingredients that are simple, nourishing, and kind to your cardiovascular system. When it comes to cheese, reach for those options that support your brain, lower in sodium, rich in healthy fats, and paired with whole foods that reduce inflammation. This might be as simple as choosing a container of low-sodium cottage cheese instead of cheddar, or adding a small scoop of ricotta to a breakfast bowl of fruit and oats instead of using a processed topping. Small choices like these slowly create a ripple effect throughout your entire body. They lower the strain on your blood vessels, reduce your risk of silent inflammation, and support steady blood flow to your brain's most vital areas. Over time, this translates into better memory, quicker thinking, and a greater ability to stay engaged with the people and moments that matter most to you. Your food becomes your partner in aging well. Not just a source of comfort, but a source of protection and vitality. It's also helpful to remind yourself that slip-ups are part of the journey. You may occasionally indulge in something you enjoyed. Now isn't ideal, and that's okay. What matters most is the pattern you return to, the default you gently build over time. By making brain-protective choices most of the time, you give your body the resilience it needs to handle those occasional treats without lasting harm. This balance creates emotional peace as well, removing guilt and replacing it with confidence that you're moving in the right direction. Invite your loved ones into the process. Share your choices, your reasons, and your hopes for a healthier future. When others see the clarity in your decisions and the calm in your approach, they often feel inspired to make changes too. And that shared motivation can build a supportive environment where your health becomes not just a personal journey, but a gift you give to those around you. Each meal, each moment of awareness is an act of self-kindness. As you move forward, trust that these thoughtful choices are already reshaping your future. You're creating more space for joy, for clarity, and for the kind of strength that only grows with time and care. You are doing something good for yourself, quietly, powerfully, and one day at a time.